It was a dark and stormy night. The wind howled outside the office building, rattling windows and making the rain tap against the glass. Inside, the employees of Apex Innovations were working late to meet an important deadline. The atmosphere was tense, with the only source of light coming from the dim, flickering fluorescent bulbs. Emma, a young and ambitious project manager, sat at her desk surrounded by piles of paperwork. The clock on the wall ticked away, each second echoing through the empty hallways. As she focused on her work, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Suddenly, the lights flickered, casting long shadows across the room. Emma looked around nervously, chalking it up to the storm outside. She tried to shake off the eerie feeling and continued typing on her computer. As the night wore on, more employees left, leaving only a handful of dedicated workers behind. The office felt emptier, and the silence grew more unsettling. Emma could hear the sound of her own heartbeat as she walked down the dimly lit hallways to the break room, hoping a cup of coffee would help her stay awake. As she approached the break room, she noticed a strange figure in the corner of her eye. A shadowy silhouette moved swiftly, disappearing behind a row of filing cabinets. Emma hesitated but convinced herself it was just fatigue playing tricks on her mind. In the break room, she poured herself a cup of coffee and tried to shake off the unease that clung to her. The room was silent except for the distant rumble of thunder. Just as Emma took a sip, she heard a soft whisper. "Emma." The voice was barely audible, sending shivers down her spine. She turned around, her eyes scanning the room. Nobody was there. The air felt colder, and the shadows seemed to dance with a life of their own. "Emma, you should leave," the voice whispered again, this time more urgent. Emma's heart raced, and she felt a chill in the air. She hesitated for a moment, debating whether to listen to the mysterious voice or dismiss it as a figment of her imagination. Curiosity got the better of her, and she decided to investigate. The office, now almost completely deserted, felt like a labyrinth of empty cubicles and echoing hallways. The flickering lights cast eerie shapes on the walls, and the air was thick with tension. As Emma ventured further into the office, the whispers grew louder. "Leave, before it's too late." The voice echoed through the empty corridors, and Emma felt a sense of dread. She quickened her pace, determined to find the source of the haunting whispers. The office seemed to come alive with unseen eyes watching her every move. As she approached the executive offices, the atmosphere became suffocating. The air was heavy with an otherworldly presence, and Emma could barely breathe. The whispers turned into hushed sobs, and the shadows seemed to reach out towards her. Emma pushed open the door to the CEO's office, and her heart sank. The room was engulfed in darkness, with only the glow of a computer screen illuminating the space. Behind the desk, a figure sat, its face hidden in the shadows. "Emma, you should have left," the figure whispered, its voice a haunting echo. Emma, paralyzed with fear, watched as the figure slowly turned to face her. The dim light revealed a pale, expressionless face. The figure's eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, sending a chill down Emma's spine. As the figure extended its hand towards her, the office seemed to come alive with ghostly apparitions. The shadows twisted and contorted, forming ghastly faces that moaned in agony. The whispers grew louder, pleading with Emma to flee. In a panic, she stumbled backward and rushed towards the exit. The once familiar office now felt like a nightmare, with the walls closing in around her. The whispers turned into anguished screams, and the shadows seemed to claw at her as she ran. Just as she reached the exit, the office plunged into darkness. The only sound was the howling wind outside. Emma burst out of the building, gasping for breath. She looked back, but the office was silent and still. From that night on, the employees of Apex Innovations avoided working late. The office, once bustling with life, became a place of whispers and shadows. The story of Emma's encounter spread, and no one dared to enter the office after hours. Legend has it that on stormy nights, you can still hear the faint whispers echoing through the empty hallways, warning those who dare to linger. The shadows, once dormant, come alive, carrying with them the haunting memories of that fateful night when the office was consumed by darkness.